There's so many. Has anyone been to them all?
Not likely.
I want to be the first one to see them all.
Truly wonderful the mind of a child is.
Come on.
When you find people who need your help, you help them, no matter what.
We have hope. Hope that things can get better. And they will.
Stand up together. Because that's when we're strongest. As one.
You won't be going alone. You'll have a friend with you.
No. I'll have a Jedi with me.
You might wanna buckle up, baby.
Rise
in the Force.
Take care of us, little one.
It'll take care of you. We had each other. That's how we won.
Force is strong in my family.
Its energy surrounds us and binds us.
What is it they've sent us?
Hope.
Hello there. Welcome to Ahsoka's Weekly Mission. This is the show where we do spoiler-heavy discussions of the latest episode or episodes of Ahsoka, which are currently streaming on Disney+. I am your host, Ryan of Nerd Culture, and joining us on this show, we can't do this without her because every Sky guy needs a Snips. So please welcome Snips herself. Hello, Christie. Welcome back. How are you?
Hello, everyone. So excited to be back.
It's great to have you here, Snips. It's always good to have Snips here. We can't do it without her because the show is all about you. Well, in a way.
Oh, yeah.
And also joining us is a returning face, a big fan of all things nerd culture and a big fan of the War and the Stars, also known as Star Wars for those of us keeping track of the score at home. Please welcome the Force is Strong with this one. Jen is back, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Jen.
Hey.
Welcome.
Hey, how you guys doing? Great to be back. Thank you for having me.
Oh, we're doing well. We're doing well. We're thankful that you both are here. Now, if you have any questions or comments about this past week's episode of Ahsoka, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. Our producer is going to be monitoring it as we go throughout the course of this broadcast. And if this is your first time here, welcome. Don't forget to like and share this with all of your closest friends. So first things first. Hello, Snips.
Hello, hello.
What were the positives that stood out to you in this week's episode?
Okay, I'm going to start from the beginning. I'll go with, I like the C-3PO cameo. That was so cute. I think they did it well done. It, worked perfect in the story, in the context. It wasn't weird. It was so good. And then I loved Thrawn was cool again. I always find him cool. He's a cool guy. He's a scary guy. They're definitely going the villain route with him, and it's scary. And then I liked Balin going on his own way now, and I want to know what he's gonna do. And Shin being so scared once he left, it was such an interesting dynamic. And then my favorite part of the whole episode was Ezra. This actor is literally Ezra come to life. I have to arguably say he is one of the best transitions from animation to live action. I think he looks exactly like Ezra, and then also his acting, and somehow he has the same voice as Ezra, even though it's not the voice actor. And I love him.
Well, we know who Snips has a crush on now, but that's fine. I'm sure he's single. He's not seeing anybody, so it's fine. The character, I don't know about the actor. Can't say much about him, but yet, good points. Good points. I like it. So, Jen, what were the things that stood out to you in the positive sense during this week's episode, Jen?
Definitely the agreeing with Christie, the C-3PO cameo and seeing one of the first most honorable mentions in droids. One of the things I really loved about the moment is the moment you heard him is the instant respect that came into the council, with the exception of that one senator, where he says, I am, and then Mamantha says, 3PO, come in. She was so surprised. And then just how the tone of the room changed when he entered, and that he mentioned Leia and that he was there on her behalf. And just just that whole moment of just how all of a sudden it just changed the whole dynamic of that scene. That was so powerful. And then I think for me, I'm loving the storylines of all the characters and how they're kind of venturing out in different ways. We have Baylan and Shin splitting up essentially, and then we don't know exactly what's going to happen because she's going to kind of stick around with the Thrawn gang, if you will. And then you have Baylan doing his own thing. But then my heart is sinking because we don't have Rey anymore. And it's just like, man, what were they planning with his character in the show? And where was it going to go in season 2? And then I think there were so many things I liked about it, but I really enjoyed the action sequences. And then seeing Baylan and Ahsoka go at it again. I was really entranced with that, definitely.
Well, while our friendly neighborhood Snips is caught in the Matrix, because apparently she's frozen for a bit, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Snips, if you want to jump out and jump back in, that's fine too. Sometimes technology can be fickle that way. But for me, yeah, she had to jump out. It's all right. What happens when you get caught in the Matrix on the interwebs? So the positives that stood out to me for this episode, the action scenes. Finally, we're getting some fights. We're getting some battles. We're getting some blood. We're getting some sweat. I'm going to see it. So that was really good. Ezra is getting better as a character. He's getting a little bit better as an actor, because he only showed up for like the last 2 seconds of the last episode. So it's like, okay, he's finally getting some dialogue, trying to come into his own. The action sequences were the best part for me for this. And also Baylan, just kind of like saying, my part's done. Like, you're on your own, kid. This is on you. Like, it's your, I've trained you for this. You're going to be fine. Now I got to, ride off into the sunset and figure out what the frack I'm going to do. So that's interesting. I'm like, where is he going to go? Is he going to join back up with Thrawn? Is he going to go help Ahsoka somewhere down the line? Like, I don't know. And the thing that is hurting all of us as fans of the Star Wars community and the acting and the Hollywood community and all that stuff is that Ray Stevenson is no longer with us. So
yeah.
It's really going to sting whatever happens to him at the end of season 1, going into season 2, depending on what when that's going to premiere. Because with the whole situation in Tinseltown still being figured out, that's going to take time. But Baylan's character was great. Thrawn was, to me, he was much better in this because he's an intimidating figure when you first look at him. I'm thinking, okay, well, all you do is just say stuff, like do something. But when he was specifically saying, go this direction, go that direction, tell your people to go here, tell your people to go there. Nope, retreat everybody. It's an unfortunate, but, loss of resources. And then he's like, just bring everybody back. Like, we're going to be fine because everything is going to according to our plan. Like, Ahsoka's lost the one thing she can't afford to lose, time. And I'm like, ooh, this guy is sniveling. He's conniving. He's a strategist. And I like seeing that in Thrawn. I'm like, I'm starting to see this guy doesn't just have blue skin for to look good on camera. He's actually proven his worth, So
yeah,
really good dialogue, really good stuff with Thrawn. Starting to see what goes on inside his corrupt, dirty, filthy, disgusting little mind of how this is a chess game. Everything is a chessboard. He is moving the pieces, even when the good guys and bad guys don't even know that he's playing. They don't even know it. So it's brilliant strategy, brilliant mind games, loving it. And what was the other thing? Was it the general with the gold-plated helmet, like those guys? And Enoch, thank you. Enoch is getting some good dialogue, even though it's simple dialogue, but whatever. Enoch sounds good. He looks good. And then he sends his battalions out to take out the good people and the Ninja Turtles on very slow, and I mean very slow-moving vehicles. You would think that Ezra, being one with the Force and the Force is with him and these Ninja Turtles, that these vehicles would go a lot faster than 2 miles an hour. But no, you don't believe in speed?
People? Well, keep in mind that this planet was in a galaxy that was not charted for a while. It was unknown. Yeah. And to what Ezra said, these were a simple people. They're not used to this kind of a situation where the Empire comes out of nowhere and kind of takes over a planet that wasn't there before. So, which, as we know, for the Empire, that's just what they do. But it just shows how it changed another world upside down. And then to to the character of Thrawn, I've read the Thrawn book, and I thought with the first episode when we get Thrawn, I was convinced, oh man, this is Thrawn. Not that it was not going to be Thrawn, but for me, for both episodes, I thought both episodes have done really well to emphasize his character more so from the book perspective, because there are moments where he gets silent when Morgan interjects, and I get so nervous because I'm like, he's not talking. That's not good.
But
that's not good.
I they're definitely going like the scary route with Thrawn. Like I think they're doing like Legends Thrawn instead of like canon book Thrawn. I mean, like I'm always gonna love. I feel like I'm a much more bigger like Thrawn book fan, but I still love him in like this light, and he's so evil. And his face when he saw that
I was just about to say that when he looked at Ahsoka.
So funny. He was just like, and it was so funny. He was nervous.
So yeah, her master was formerly known as
Anakin Skywalker. Like just the moment of
oh
crap.
I forgot to mention the hologram with hated in my positives.
I know.
Major positive.
We got hated again. Thank the maker.
I saw him pop up on the screen, and I was like, oh, he's back.
And we get the dialogue from the trailer. That's the other thing we get.
Yes.
The dialogue from the trailer.
That's okay. All right. Good. Well, glad you remembered to put that in your report there, Snips.
I'm so sad I forgot.
It's okay. Listen, things pop up, sometimes at the last minute. These things happen. But what I was going for there, and by the way, I'm not sure who Valvez BTW is, but they said, "Hey, what's up? Well, good to see you too. Everything's well in your neck of the woods. If you have any questions or comments about the show, let us know. Not sure who that is, but welcome in, and we thank you for being with us. So with that being said, Thrawn was awesome. The cameo by 3, I was like, oh my gosh, they're pulling on some OG threads here, ladies and gentlemen. I thought that was cleverly done. It's like, okay, Carrie Fisher's no longer with us. You can't have an actress, go deep fake and have, Carrie Fisher's face plastered all over, unless, what is it? Billy Lord would do it. I mean, they can scan and put her mom's face on her. I'm sure Billy Lord would do it. But anyway, either way, it's a good way to work around the unfortunate passing of Carrie Fisher by saying, hey, 3PO is going to take care of it. He's her representative. It's all good. That was a good cameo. I like that. It was worked in. It wasn't just for fan service. It worked for the story, worked for what they were doing. Hera answering for her, so-called crimes. Against humanity.
They're not crimes.
They're not. They're just
calm down.
They're just bending the rules a little. Everyone does it. We've done it for centuries, and we still end up winning the battle. Give me a break, guys. But his cameo was clever. That was good. As soon as I heard the voice, I'm like, is that the OG right there? Is that the OG? What's going on? And like, I don't need any identification. Get away from me. Like, what are you talking about? And it's 3PO, and I'm like, oh, they're pulling on the OG.
The moment I heard the high pitch, my brain went, are you serious right now?
Yeah.
He showed up.
Yeah. Well, here's a question to that though, regarding the scene in the room with the senators and the New Republic people. Was that Anthony in the suit or just him doing the voice? I
think so.
That's Anthony in the suit.
I feel like he always goes in the suit.
You sure? Because I mean, he's not as young as he once was.
Yeah, I know he was in it for like all the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
No, I believe he was, because
he was in the suit.
He's in the credits, but I don't know if it's just for his voice. But I would imagine he's in the suit.
Okay,
he's been in the suit for everything. I mean, I can't see why he wouldn't be in the suit. But then at the same time, if he chose not to be for whatever reason, but I totally believed he was in the suit. I was really looking at it and fangirling.
Well, who wasn't? But so that was good. Ezra, here's a question, and this leans into one of my positives, even though I'm still kind of thrown off by it. Pun intended, because you threw a lot of people across the room, Ezra. Is Ezra, like, he's been gone for 10 years, right? But has he still been honing his skills and practicing the Jedi way? Is that why he's able to like just touch people or like do the force push with a single bound? Because I'm thinking to myself, Sabine's only been training for like less than a week, and Ezra's treating this like he's John Wick. I'm like, when did you become John Wick Jedi?
I feel like since he was just sitting there with like peaceful people, they don't have weapons, so he had to just use the Force somehow. So I like that they did the Ezra group stronger in the Force than Ezra's done nothing with the Force the past 10 years. And that was actually like one of my favorite lines when he was like, I don't need like a lightsaber, I don't need the weapon, like the Force is my ally. Like I loved when he said that. And went crazy.
That was such a powerful
That was a gutsy
line.
call.
I really liked that he's for 10 years to a degree, he's on a very peaceful planet with not a lot of
violence
activity to where it gave him the opportunity to meditate and really get more in tune with the Force after his excursion through hyperspace with Thrawn. So I thought it was a good fit, and that's how I read it.
All right. I mean, as soon as I saw him throwing people around, I'm thinking, dude, your powers are over 9,000. How did this happen? Like, what? You don't need a lightsaber anymore? You don't want any weapons at all? You don't want one of Sabine's good-looking blasters? Or it's like, hey, it was yours for. It's like, it's your lightsaber. Take it. It's like, no. I don't need it anymore. I'm one with the Force. I'm pulling
he had nothing but time.
What was the character name from Rogue One? What was his name? The two Guardians of the Chirrut Imwe is like, I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me. I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me. Basically, Ezra was pulling a Chirrut Imwe the whole episode. He was pulling a Chirrut Imwe the whole time because he's not. And then at the end of it, he takes somebody's blaster and he actually starts firing at people. I'm like, yes, come on, dude. Like, don't just pull a Neo. You're the one Neo Keanu Reeves on us. Like, actually pull up a weapon, dude. So which he did. So it's okay, Ezra. I'm giving you credit here. I'm not criticizing you.
It shows his growth. It really shows his growth.
I'll say and I'm not just talking about the growth of your long hair and your thick beard that apparently Christie has a mad crush on and wants to date you starting tomorrow. But I mean, Snips, it's okay. It's okay.
Listen, Christie,
we all have our crushes. We all have crushes.
I'm not gonna
Anakin #1.
Okay,
Amen.
all right. Well, Ewan, if you're Ewan or Matt Lanter, if you're watching this, Snips wants to date you
His
too.
name is Hayden. Get it right.
Sorry, but there's two Anakins in this equation. There's Matt Lanter, and then there's also Ewan, Hayden Christensen. So can't forget about Matt, though.
You can't forget about Matt.
Matt was great too,
Matt's awesome.
Matt's great. Awesome. I mean, I love that guy. That guy's fantastic.
Don't disagree. He saved Anakin, so.
Yeah, that's for sure. But with that being said, those are the positives stood out for me in terms of action sequences. Ahsoka being reunited with her crew, Sabine and Ezra, that was nice. That was a cool reunion. And Hu Yang saying, "Oh, please, not these plans again." And then when Hu Yang says they're back together again, I only hope I lived long enough to see the next moment because I'm getting fired at by all these fighters.
If I lived long enough, I was cracking up on that one.
That was a good one. I was like, if I lived long enough to see that reunion, I'm like, well, yeah, because you're getting blasted from all corners, dude. You're getting fired at. But it was the visual effects, the battles. You had a space battle, you had a lightsaber battle between. By the way, the battle between Baylan and Ahsoka. Oh man,
beautiful.
That was more of an exchange of words than swords. They were like, you don't have to do this. And he's like, no. Like, you can't be. He's like, I don't have to you.
Part of me was wondering. I didn't think they were like, if they were gonna just kill Baylan there for like the sake of not being around any, like that did go through my mind. Like if he was still alive, I would have been like, oh, he has to survive. But like during the fight, I was like, for a second, I was like, are they gonna kill him?
I was concerned. Yeah, I thought they were gonna go toe to toe, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears being laid out on that ground, and then I thought she's probably gonna put it right through his chest or somewhere.
I wonder if they changed the ending because of that.
I don't know because that's
a lot of it was filmed.
I know. I wonder.
I don't know if you heard me early, Christy, when I was giving my positives. One of the things I noted was the storylines and, with last episode and this episode and how Baylan has other intentions.
I know.
After he got to this. So,
and they're so big. They're big intentions too. And I'm just like, I don't know what they're going to do.
They're going to be
right. It's just like, how are they going to rectify this? I mean, I know one way is through a book, which would make sense. But then, I was saying earlier, my heart was sinking because we lost Rey, and I'm very invested in this character. Now it's like, how do you address this?
And for them to put this in such a major show and like put it into a book, I feel like, like, you know what I mean? Like that doesn't add. They probably did want to just continue on with like the show with that. I don't know.
With the character, I mean,
he's such an intriguing character, and it just hurts all of us as a community and nerds and geeks all around the world, especially those of us who happen to be Star Wars fans and enjoy seeing new stories with new characters, which includes Baylan being one of them. And I'm thinking, man, this character, he did some really good stuff in this week's episode just alone. And I'm thinking, what is he going to... Like, and I thought, is Ahsoka going to kill him off here in this episode? Like, what? But thankfully, he's still out there. We don't know where his allegiance is ultimately going to lie. And then Ahsoka reunites with Sabine. And this gets into my next point. Well, then, in terms of my pauses, let me just put it to you this way. I enjoyed this week's episode more so than I did the previous week. Let's just put it to you that way. So, Snips, were there any negatives that stood out to you in this week's episode? Probably not, but I'm going to ask you anyway.
Oh, I can think of one. I think I don't know how I don't think they're gonna like wrap up all of it in one episode, but I just don't know what they're gonna do. And all I wanted more than anything with this show is like a Ghost Crew reunion. And if they don't give me that at the finale, I'm gonna be so sad and angry. Like all I want is Ezra to see Hera again. And it's just with the way that the show is going, like I don't know.
I think that's another positive for me. I know we're talking about negatives now, but I think for me as a fan, that's one of the things I love when I watch storytelling or read storytelling is where I can't figure out where it's going because it's keeping me in suspense and trying to figure out what are we gonna do. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's the only negative I really have to say. But I mean, going back and saying another positive, I loved getting to see Ezra and Ahsoka's reunion. That was so cute, especially since when Ezra pulled her out of the world between worlds, he was like, "Come and find me," and now she found him. So that reunion was cute, but I want the reunion with the rest of them. And if Dave leaves us on a cliffhanger where Ezra cannot go home, that would be so sad. I mean, it would probably be a good story, but it would be so sad. That's what I gotta say.
No, I got you. Jen, any negatives that stood out to you?
I think the only negative I have is one I would say from last week is I was very surprised of Sabine's reaction to seeing Ezra after 10 years and how it wasn't, I guess, more emotional. But then thinking about it and digesting it for a while, I'm like, well, she is a Mandalorian, but then we've seen her exude emotion before in Rebels. So that's not so far out of character for her because I feel like if I were her and I found my long lost friend who's a family member after 10 years, I might cry. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a Mandalorian, so I don't know. I don't know, but I just thought that moment reunion was a little bit off to me for how we know the characters from the Rebel shows. It just didn't match. And then when I saw Ahsoka's reunion, the way she reacted and how she just put her hand on his face and she laughed like, we found it. It was just so different. I'm like, see? What?
And that fit Ahsoka. It fits Ahsoka. I would imagine Ahsoka to be like, wow, we found you. We're like she was happy and emotional.
She had Sabine was just which was really touching.
Sabine was just like, oh, hey. Also, I wanted to add on about
hug.
What you were saying about everything when they were just like, oh yeah, Zeb's training recruits. Where's Zeb? I need to see him though.
Oh, another negative actually that I thought of, again, it started from last week because I don't think it's reading well, and I would love to hear the opinion of you both, is the age difference between Sabine and Ezra. Technically, Sabine is in her 30s, getting close to her 40s, and Ezra in Rebels is 14 when we're introduced, and she's in her late 20s, which puts him in his 20s right now in the timeline. And I don't think that's reading well with the age difference. Do you have any thoughts on that, Christie or Ryan?
Aren't they 3 years apart?
No, I think
No, Sabine's older than him. Sabine is older than Ezra. I
Yeah.
know that much. I don't know the
I
exact.
thought she was like 16 or something.
I don't know the
No,
exact.
she was in her 20s when she met Ezra in season 1 because he's like 14, 15. She's in her 20s.
Wow. Okay.
It says she was 16 when we first saw her, and she was around 20 when she got the dark saber.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Oh, here. How much older is Sabine than Ezra? Sabine is at least
Fact
2
check.
years older than Ezra. Throughout the show, they are 14, 16, 15, and 17, 17 and 19, and then 19 and 21.
Where did that come from then? Because there's a lot of
This
fans
is from the Wikipedia.
I was gonna say, is that Wikipedia?
No. What I meant was there's a lot of fans that think in the fandom that they're farther apart in age. I wonder where that came from then.
I
wonder.
Anyway,
I mean, no,
never mind.
Are they legally able to drink beer? Probably. I mean,
After everything they've been through.
After everything they've been through, Ezra's got, facial hair to prove it, so he can drink as many beers as he wants. Ezra, don't drink too much because drinking isn't always good for the soul. Plus, it gives you risk of something known as liver cancer, and I wouldn't recommend that to anybody because, as we all know, cancer sucks. We've either had friends or family members who have struggled with that, so don't go through that, Ezra. But anyway, sorry, not to get on a weird PSA here. What was I going with that? Anyway, so negatives, right? So I'm trying to. It was a question of Ezra's force abilities. That was really the only. Oh, here's a negative for me. Yeah, I was trying to think. Where was my other negative with this? By the way, for those of you wondering what the bantha fodder is going on around here, we are discussing any and all things Ahsoka that's currently streaming on Disney Plus, as well as anything going on in the realm of Star Wars. If you have any thoughts about it, drop it in the comments, leave it in the chat. Whether you are joining this live or on the replay, thank you for being here, and do not forget to like and share this with everyone you know. They're going to like the way they look after watching or listening to Ahsoka's Weekly Mission with Ryan, Christie, and Jen. We guarantee it. As far as negatives, my negative here is that, first of all, your vehicles with the Ninja Turtles were too slow. But then again, they lived on a planet that's peaceful and kind and stuff. So that's a little bit of a nitpick, Snips. I'm sorry. But the other thing that bothered me was Ahsoka and who was it? Ahsoka and Ezra's reunion was good. But still, what bothers me, Sabine, you didn't tell Ezra the truth about anything.
That's true. I forgot about that.
You told him,
yet.
You gave him the cliff notes of what has happened since you've been gone in terms of who won the war, who's in charge of the government, who's running the bars, who's running the cafes, who's running the ships now. Hera's, being a general of everything and all that. Like you filled Ezra in on the little things, but you didn't tell him the actual. In the words of, this is a scene that's going to go towards a different part of the studio, but still the same people. Jeannie, I need help. All right, Sparky, here's the deal. If you want to court the little lady, you got to be a straight shooter too. You got it? What? Tell her the truth. You need to tell Ezra the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Because you didn't tell Ezra that you made a deal with the devils. You didn't tell Ezra that there's probably no way of getting home other than, Ahsoka's ship, which, by the way, the Purgles are gone. So we don't know if the Purgles are going to come back and rescue him and take him back through hyperspace or not. So
I have another.
You got a lot of problems here, Sabine, and one of them is not being honest with your people. So get this through your Mandalorian helmet, even though you don't wear one anymore, and tell Ezra everything.
I feel like
I want to see
Ahsoka.
I want to see an argument. I want to see a fight. I want to see something go down between Ezra and Sabine that's going to prove that not everything in this circle of rebels is sunshine and rainbows. Anyway, Your Honor, I digress. Christy, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, I feel like Ahsoka is just going to be like, they're just going to be talking, and Ezra's going to be like, oh yeah, let's go home. And then Ahsoka's going to be like, about that. Also about like what Thrawn's doing. And then I feel like Ezra's just going to be like, what? Like, I thought this was all good. Like, I feel like Ahsoka's just gonna let it out, and then Ezra's gonna be like, huh? And then Sabine's gonna be like, ooh.
It's either gonna be, if it's not Ahsoka, it's gonna be Hu Yang.
Yep.
Way, because with his banter and the way he communicates and his opinions on things, I could just see Hu Yang dropping that bomb on everyone, and it's going to be interesting to see how Ezra reacts, and knowing that
Oh yeah,
it was actually Sabine who brought all that here, and he thought she finally found a way to get to him without any drama, if you will, and she brought drama, or telenovela, however you want to call it. Yeah, I'm very curious to see what's going to happen between the two of them when that finally gets dropped. But I'm wondering if Hugh Yang is really going to be the one to drop that.
Now that you said that, that also makes sense.
Yeah, because I'm thinking of the other dialogue and his character, and I can just completely see that. If it were like a 3PO R2D2 scenario, 3PO would be the one to drop the knowledge on that one.
Oh, for sure.
You had to say that? Yes, I did.
I mean, yeah, I want to see a fight because you're lying. This is the thing. Like, I'm not really, like, I still like Sabine, but I don't love her like I did in Rebels because she's a compulsive liar. She's lying to everybody. Like, she's lying to Ezra. She's lying to, I mean, like, she's holding a lot of things back, and that's a huge problem. And the other thing is, you can't just pull an old school MySpace catchphrase and say, it's complicated. It's complicated. I can't say anything. It's complicated. No. It's not complicated. You were seduced by the dark side to give that map to Balin and all, or whatever, and then Balin destroyed it, and you made a deal with the devil, the literal devil, to get to find Ezra. So I like Sabine, but I don't. Sabine, let me be honest with you for a second. I don't like you as much as I did a couple years ago. So you got to really stop saying the whole MySpace Facebook relationship clause. It's complicated, because that doesn't fly anymore in 2023. If two individuals like each other, they're not going to say it's complicated. No, you don't say it's complicated. You say, I like you. Can we go out on a date, please?
I feel
just
like
be honest.
She's having a few of her teenage moments, but this time we expect her to be an adult.
Yeah, she's pushing 40.
So it's not coming off the right way that it did when she was in Rebels.
Yeah,
I feel I feel like with everything she's been through, and then dealing with years of
PTSD.
Whatever happened,
she just wants to be happy.
Ahsoka, and losing Ezra, dealing with that trauma, survivor's guilt.
Mm-hmm.
I think to a degree I can see why she would make that decision, because if there was any possibility for any one of us to find someone we dearly loved, and
you want to hold on to it, you just want to be happy. You don't.
I can't think of a lot of people that would say no to the risk. I mean, I know I would probably take the risk. It's like, you know what, I won't. For me, speaking for myself, I know for me in that situation, I probably wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I didn't try.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can understand why she did that, because then at the end of the day, hypothetically, if she didn't find Ezra, she could say, you know what? At that point, I tried everything. I did. I really did. And now I can sleep. So I can understand that to a degree. But yeah, I would agree there's been a few moments where I feel, but now that I have the correct information, that's changing my view of how she's reacting to things, because for a long time I thought there was a big age difference. So I have to reevaluate now.
Things have changed from a certain point of view. See, it all. By the way, did anyone catch this during the episode? There are two things that stood out to me that I'm not sure if anyone caught this. One of them was, and by the way, thank you for those who have been joining us and enjoying this insanity. So, so the first thing, did anyone catch Hu Yang's line when he said, we're going to get pulverized if we stay out here much longer? Did anyone catch that?
No, I didn't.
That was a reference to Empire Strikes Back.
Ooh.
Did anyone catch that? That was a wink and a nod to Leia's line in Empire Strikes Back when she looks at Han and says, we're going to get pulverized if we stay out here much longer. I can't argue
I didn't catch that. That's
didn't catch the reference to Empire? Ooh, I got one over Snips and Jen. I got one. Okay, so here's...
Wow.
Yep. Hu Yang looked at Ahsoka and he's like, we're going to get pulverized if we stay out here much longer. And I'm like, hey, that's an Empire line.
Nice.
I like that. That was a good one, because we are going to get pulverized if you stay out in this debris field. By the way, the minefield, oh my God.
That was insane.
How many
Pretty
mines?
Cool.
How many mines were in that field? Like 20 grand, maybe 40 grand? I mean, there was a lot of mines. There was
I say.
what's his face? Thrawn was prepared. Thrawn was
always
prepared.
7 steps ahead.
He's ready.
Always.
He had the minefield. He had the fighters going out into the debris field. And I'm thinking, boy, Thrawn really planned ahead with that minefield, didn't he? Woo, baby. And the second thing, I don't know if anyone caught this. First of all, there was the Empire reference. Secondly, do you think the words that were spoken by Balin when he looks at Shin, when Shin is questioning him about, you're not going to help? I go along a different path. He says, remember, Shin, my last passing lesson, impatience for victory guarantees defeat. When he said that, I thought, ooh, that's good. Let's put that on a shirt. That
was a good line.
Quote by Balin was really smart. Very smart. To look at your apprentice and say, I know how good you are, but I know how impatient you can be when you're fighting.
Yeah.
Impatience for victory guarantees defeat. So you got to be patient when you're going on to battle with these folk. So when Balin said that, I'm thinking, first of all, Ray Stevenson, you're the man. Ray Stevenson, you're the man. Secondly, we need to slap that on a shirt and get Jen, Christie, and I to wear that on this show.
T-shirts.
We need shirts. I want Balin shirts. Can we get a Balin shirt? I want a Balin shirt.
I would wear a Balin
I
shirt.
love that quote. It was a good one.
Has anyone seen the...
Yeah, that really hit heavy for me.
Yeah, that was a good one. Has anyone seen the images they released recently, a few days ago, over the interwebs for the first look of what Balin's action figure from the Black Series is going to look like from Hasbro?
No, I think so.
Have you seen the images? Okay, well, they're on the interwebs, so feel free to Google that after you finish geeking out with us on Ahsoka's Weekly Mission. Because I saw the images from the Black Series, and I'm thinking, I don't really buy too many action figures anymore because I have no room. But Balin may have to be an exception to the rule. Because that figure looks pretty darn good, Snips.
Did.
I mean, if you saw the images that I'm talking about, you looked at that and I'm thinking, Ray Stevenson's not here anymore. We need to honor this guy's memory, regardless of what role he ever played, and put that on our mantles. Wouldn't you say?
Let's get it.
Wouldn't you like to rub that in your friends' faces on campus? That would be nice to put up there. Sorry. I'm sorry. This is not a competition between college students and anyone else for that matter. But those are two things that stood out to me. So those are the biggest negative for me was Sabine is a constant compulsive liar. And I'm sick and tired of her lying. Just tell your BFFs the truth. If Aladdin can do it, the love of his life, Princess Jasmine, and be honest that he's not a prince. He's actually just a common folk. He's a street rat.
It took him some time.
Look, it took him 85 minutes. It took him 85, maybe 80 minutes. 80 minutes or so, okay? Because the movie's an hour and a half. Remember that movie came out 30 years ago?
Yeah, but in the movie, it took him like a couple days.
Semantics. But with
Ezra... a lot of teller.
But in Sabine's case, it's taken her 10 plus years to tell him the truth. So, she's stretching it, don't you think? I mean, she's beating Aladdin's record by 10 years. So,
Well, they've only been with each other for not even a day.
I know, but still, you got to be honest.
You need to soak it in.
Just be honest. Anyway, that's
I don't disagree with that because, like what we said before, it's going to be really interesting in how the truth is revealed and
who says it.
Well, yeah, who says it, but then how he's going to react to it and what that may cause. Because, like I said earlier, it's really interesting the different storylines that we're seeing in the show. And then one I wanted to note was, since you mentioned before, Balin with the quote to Shin, was Ahsoka actually reaching out to Shin saying, I can help you. I found that very interesting. And I'm wondering, because we see this theme in Star Wars, there's always a redemption arc. So I'm wondering if that's maybe a setup for a redemption arc for Shin.
I thought it was going to be the other way. I was like, if anyone is going to turn to the light side, it's going to be Balin over Shin.
I can
see But now that Shin's confused, I could definitely see her.
She's more on him.
Just because she's...
Did you notice that?
Yeah, she's more scared.
Yeah.
She's more... Ever since the beginning, but especially the last episode, this girl just flings around her lightsaber. She doesn't have any,
Well, she's ready to fight, though.
But
she's always ready to fight. She's always ready.
Well, I think that's why that's one of the reasons why that lesson was.
She's got that fighting attitude about her. Shin does, I mean.
Yeah, I think that's why that lesson was so heavy, because I can think of different Jedi that fight
was,
like that,
Luke
and
was the same way.
but like how they have those moments where they lose battles, and it's very true how impatience for victory really causes the downfall. It's a very powerful lesson.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming though, with Ahsoka offering her hand to Shin, being like, "Look, just put down your lightsaber. I can help you." I'm like, "Whoa, wait a minute! You actually want this crazy girl on your side? Like, are you out of your mind? Like, she is ready to cut you into pieces, man." But like I said, or like anyone could say this, anything can happen. That's the beauty of this show. Like, I didn't see that offer of her allegiance, saying, "Hey, we can help you," coming. Didn't see the Balin quote, which is iconic. It needs to be slapped on a shirt so Christie, Jen, and I can wear it. And then Thrawn being so good. I mean, Thrawn has always been he's always been good to a degree, but like this episode really, like, he's just looking at these holograms of the pieces moving across the board and saying, "This is what we're going to do. This is how it's going to play." Like, we got all this working towards us. You know what I mean? Like, you got to love the interwebs here, guys. But anyway, sorry, I'm getting messages from all sides of the corner of the universe. But anyway, so this was a heck of an episode. I enjoyed the living heck out of it. It's much better than the last one or two that I've seen. The only thing that bothers me is, Sabine, you're a compulsive liar. Get over it. Tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God. It's like a court case. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm in an episode of Law and Order, for Pete's sake. I feel like I'm Jack McCoy or something. Where's Sam Waterston when you need him? Please, can we get him on the show? Because Sam Waterston's a heck of an actor. He's been doing it for like, what, 6-7 decades now? That guy's been acting since he was like, like almost yay high, maybe. Sam, if you're watching this, come on to this show. We'd love to see you. Anyway, Black Cats rule. I never thought I'd hear myself say those words in the same sentence. They say Sabine has to admit she risks war to find Ezra.
It's true. It's absolutely true. And Thrawn noted that in last week's episode as well, of the risk she took to find Ezra.
Yeah, it's
even Thrawn noted that. So absolutely, I completely agree.
Yeah, see, so people are realizing that I'm right and some people are wrong. I'm kidding. Listen, we're all entitled to our thoughts and our feelings and our opinions, because we're all correct in our own way from a certain.
And yet you claim to be on the light, and that sounds like a Sithy statement, sir.
Listen, look at the price tag. Listen, let me be perfectly honest. This is a behind the scenes story, real quick. I don't really own any Sith like shirts. All the shirts and the Star Wars swag that I have are all like light side, dark side, or not light side. Yeah, light side, good people, whatever. So, and welcome back, Snips. Apparently you keep getting caught in the Matrix. I don't know why Neo and what's his face, not Mr. Anderson. What was the agent's name? Agent Smith.
Yeah.
Agent Smith. Yeah, I don't know why Agent Smith keeps pulling you in there. I don't know why he keeps doing that. It's weird.
He's audacious.
Is that how he puts it? Oh my gosh. Anyway, so those are my thoughts. My question to you, Jen, is this: as Snips is having a bit of trouble with the Matrix, what are you looking forward to, or what do you hope to see in Ahsoka or the Star Wars galaxy moving forward?
That's hard to say with this show because, like I mentioned before, I feel like there are different storylines happening and how the characters are moving. And what we noted before with Balin Skull's character and with Rey no longer being with us, it's a little hard to discern what they're going to do and what they're setting up for. Because I feel like, for me, I can't figure out where they're going. There's so many ways they can go. They could, for example, Thrawn leaves and goes back to the galaxy where the Purgle were when we left to go find Thrawn and Ezra, and then the war starts because Hera does say to Mon Mothma that we should prepare and be ready just in case. So it could be a setup for that where we might get a cliffhanger there, or I don't know, maybe we leave off with having that argument between Ezra and Sabine about how she risked war to come find him, and that reaction, and that we don't get a resolution and we have to wait for season 2. So this show, the ending of the show can go in so many different ways, and I can't figure out which. For me, as for what I hope to see, I would say with the Star Wars rumor mill, it would be really cool if we got some live action Clone Wars in the future, just because of the success with the scenes with Hayden Christensen, young Ahsoka, and then I don't know if it's been confirmed, but what I'm still going to call for right now, the Worlds Between Worlds that whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that we do get more of that going forward. If they're going to do it as a movie or a movie or a show, or finding other ways to implement it in other storylines, I do hope we get to see more of that. Well, big Hayden Christensen fan. I want more Hayden. Be really cool if they actually do a Vader show, just because there's so much content that they can do. Comic books, and just do a whole show about this long season of Vader, starring Hayden Christensen, please and thank you.
Yeah, let's see Vader just chopping people to bits, including the younglings that he killed. Innocent people in the Jedi Temple. Way to go, Anakin. No, that was stupid. Anyway, before Agent Smith wrangles you again into the Matrix, Snips, what do you hope to see from Ahsoka? Or what do you hope to see or looking forward to seeing in the Star Wars galaxy moving forward?
Like Jem was saying, there's so many different possibilities. I don't know. I don't know where this can possibly go, but I'm excited to see where they go with it. And I'm excited now for that. I want the reunion. I want it. So that, and I'm excited now for like Dave's big like Avengers Endgame movie with all of this. Like, it's starting to feel real. Like, it's starting to get like it's like groundwork. Yeah, it's like starting. So I'm excited to see what Dave's going to do for that. And then I also want to see more Purgle. I think they're so cute. I forgot to say this.
I love the Purgles. Oh my God.
Yes, they're the best. I forgot to say this during the show, but like the opening scene, I was so scared they were like actually going to get killed by the like the bombs or whatever. I was so scared for them. And then when they all ended up being fine, I was like, whew. I want more Purgle.
They're like, and we're out. Goodbye.
We're
so not dying today.
Going into a minefield, guys. We can't be here for this round of drinks. We're out of here. We're paying our tabs and going home.
No, that was smart. I was like, Ahsoka, you leave and deal with the ship, but get those whales out of there. They're innocent.
Yeah, we need a Free Willy. Sorry, that was a movie from way back when. That was long before any of our.
I really liked the difference you see hyperspace from the Purgle's perspective versus a starship. That's just so cool.
When they came out of hyperspace, and like the diamond they made, that was cool. I want more of them.
Yeah,
wow,
I want more Purgles. Absolutely.
You know, if you want more whales in space or save the whale campaigns, just watch a little indie film called Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. That whole movie is about saving whales. So if anyone wants to know more about that, check out Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, which is considered to be one of the better installments of the Star Trek cinematic universe. So Snips, I don't know if you're into the Trek stuff, but if you want to go back and revisit some stuff from the olden times, feel free to revisit Star Trek. By the way, more people are here in the chat, and I want to say hi to them real quick. Dave Mattingly says, only one more episode to go. We know, Dave.
Madness!
No, we know. And then Dave goes on to say, Thrawn hears that Ahsoka's master was Anakin, and he's worried about her being unpredictable? Question mark.
I mean, Thrawn does figure out that Vader is Anakin.
He's scared. I think that information scared him. He does
yeah.
not have one weak master.
There's very few moments where Thrawn gets shaken, and that was one of them. Like,
for sure.
Wait,
I loved his reaction to that.
I'm sorry.
It's very simple.
Ahsoka's master was who?
Anakin. Some dude named Anakin Skywalker. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. By the way, Dave Mattingly has something funny to say. He says, he's just a Vader boy. Whatever that is. I'm not sure what song is that from. What is that? What's he getting at?
Oh, gosh. I don't remember.
Is there a song called that? I don't know. And then Dave Mattingly goes on to say, what you failed to realize is my ship is dragging mines. I got you, Dave Mattingly. That is from the Academy Award-winning film known as Galaxy Quest. If you have never seen Galaxy Quest, Snips,
well played.
Have you seen Galaxy Quest? Have you ever
heard
the name? Let me ask you this: have you ever heard the name Galaxy Quest? Have you ever?
That's a good movie.
Okay, if you want to know what the best Star Trek movie ever was, Galaxy Quest is that movie. So watch Galaxy Quest. It starred Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver, also known as Ripley from Aliens, and you also had the late great Alan Rickman was in it. Do you remember Alan Rickman? So
Professor Snapes.
You gotta Snips. Forget about hanging out with your college buddies tonight after this show. You need to sit down and stream that hour and 45-minute movie known as Galaxy Quest.
That's a good movie, man.
You're going to be laughing hysterically. The whole movie.
It's really hysterical. It's such a funny movie.
Jen and I are big fans. You know. We understood the reference that Dave was getting at. And then Dave Mattingly says, I was referencing the song earlier. Skater boy. Okay. All right. Not quite sure if I've heard that song before, Dave, but thanks for the heads up. So where were we? Oh, yes. Oh, by the way, Dave Mattingly says the best Star Trek movie is Galaxy Quest and the best Fantastic Four movie is The Incredibles. Okay. I can see that.
Man, he's just throwing it tonight.
I mean, you've seen that movie, right, Snips? You've seen The Incredibles, right?
I
Okay,
have.
well, at least you know that reference. All right, so sorry. We don't mean to call anyone out on what their age difference is, but like I said, Snips is our Padawan learner. So we are educating her in the ways of the Force and pop culture, which Jen and I are doing a pretty darn good job at this. And Dave Mattingly is too.
Yes.
Dave Mattingly is doing an excellent job. So for me, the question on the table, and for those of you who just joined us, we're discussing what we hope to see within Ahsoka, what we hope to see within the Star Wars galaxy as we continue on. So my hopes and dreams for this are, I want to see Sabine or somebody come clean and confess their sins to what they did to get here. Sabine, I'm looking right in you in the eye. You see these eyes? See these eyes? Yeah. I'm pulling a Robert De Niro from Meet the Parents. Okay? Just do it. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to what Balin's going to be doing, whether he's going to be joining up with Thrawn, or is he going to flip the coin and join up with Ahsoka and said, you know what? I was going to kill you, but now that I think about it, I think we should destroy this threat to the galaxy known as Thrawn first. So let's see what happens with that. I'm also looking forward to seeing a full Rebels reunion between Sabine, Ezra, Ahsoka, Hera, and Chopper. Maybe Zeb will be thrown in there. I don't know.
Yes.
What if Zeb walked into the hologram while they're talking to Hera, and he just crosses his arms and just says something, one of his classic one-liners from Rebels. I
just want Zeb.
Christie wants a lot of things out of life, so why don't we just give those cameos to her, will you? Anyway.
Yes.
I'm sorry. So I'm looking forward to seeing those. As far as the Star Wars galaxy overall, we know that Dave Filoni is planning an Avengers Infinity War type movie where all these characters from all the Mandalorian shows, all the Book of Boba Fett's, all the Ahsokas are going to come together and they're going to clash. Now, some of them are going to turn, friends are going to be turned into foes. Foes are going to be turned into friends. We're going to see maybe Thrawn's going to be the big bad for the whole gosh darn thing, and it's up to everybody in the galaxy to take him and his cronies out. Maybe there's someone else in the hole. Maybe he's going to resurrect Maul from the dead, and Maul's going to come back, and Sam Witwer's going to be doing the voiceover, and Ray Park's going to be the physical embodiment of Maul, which I wouldn't mind seeing that personally, but
part of the rumor is if they're going to do a live action Clone Wars, Sam wants to come back as Maul.
All we freaking need is a sequel to Solo.
Well, let's not.
I agree. We need a sequel to Solo. Yes.
I love that movie.
That's such a good movie. Why doesn't everyone like it? It's good.
It is not a good movie.
It's a great movie.
It is hashtag not my Star Wars, but I know people have its fans. There are some
you
fans
say you're on the light side. Again, this is Sithy conversation.
Look,
I agree, Jen.
Listen, there are some movies and TV series that just don't float the bloody boat. And Solo, a Star Wars story, just happens to be one of them. Along with you, Last Jedi. I'm looking at you too. But
the audacity.
Hashtag I do not want to see Solo 2. What I do want to see, and I'm hoping this
Solo
is going to happen.
2 would basically be Darth Maul, though.
Yes.
But Darth Maul can't kill Solo because otherwise that ruins canon. So,
it has to go the whole Kira and whatever.
If it's don't call it Solo. Just call it The Adventures of Kira and Darth Maul. Just call it
we're gonna call it Solo too.
They can't. They should call it The Adventures of Kira and Maul because I would watch that. I would so watch that movie. I would totally watch it. But anyway, my hopes and dreams, as I was saying, Snips, are that what I would hope to see, we know where this is going to lead up to an Avengers Infinity War type movie, as we said before, but I really want to see a Clone Wars movie with Ariana Greenblatt. I really want to see that little girl, that young up-and-coming actress.
With live-action Rex.
Get a full-length feature film, if not a mini-series, if you will, on Disney. You can do it on Disney Plus for all I care. I don't care. But I want to see a Star Wars I want to see a Clone Wars movie is what I want to see. I want to see a live-action Clone Wars movie with, maybe maybe a live action sequence concerning the siege of what was it? The siege of Mandalore.
Yeah.
Maul fighting Ahsoka, like some of the battles between Maul and Ahsoka over the years, or Maul and Obi-Wan. Like, I want to see Sam Witwer, Ray Park make a giant comeback and be like, I'm back. It's just
I think that's a really great idea, because if you think about it, like a hypothetical could be, it can start when Ahsoka leaves the Order.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, before she becomes Fulcrum. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, people were always saying like the
book kind of fills in some of those gaps, but I can see where you're going.
Yeah, all the episodes that got like canceled because of like the show getting canceled.
They became novels.
They were like, that would be cool if that was animated. Like, there was a whole like 8-episode arc with like Boba Fett and Cad Bane and Count Dooku that never went out. Like,
we
they
had
have so much they could do.
Bane, that would be great.
Here's the thing, like, Cad Bane shows up at the end of Book of Boba Fett, and I'm like, dude, this is a badass looking character. I want to see more of him. But unfortunately, he gets killed at the end of Boba Fett, and I'm thinking,
we don't know that light was still blinking. He still could be alive.
I think he did. But then again, Dave Filoni could pull the wool over our eyes and say, hey, guess what? Remember when you thought he was dead in Book of Boba Fett? He's not dead, guys. Which would be cool, because I like Westerns. So if you want to bring back a Western type character in that criminal underworld like Cad Bane and his cronies, give me more of it, son. So I want to see a Clone Wars movie with Ariana Greenblatt at the center of it, because she is so good at playing young Ahsoka. Hayden, he's going to have better writers, directors, and producers this time around. So let's give Hayden the full redemption arc and give him his own movie. We'll give him an Ariana movie or something. Captain Rex, that would be nice too. But anyway, more people are chiming in the chat. What are they saying here? Dave Manley says Skull's future lies on a different... Balin Skull, who's Ray Stevens' character, lies on a different path. Yeah, we know, but like, what path is it? I want to know what the path is, Dave. And then he goes on to say, Star Wars Infinity Wars movie will be called As Obi-Wan DeLorean. As Obi-Wan DeLorean. Are you getting this?
Oh, boy.
Are you reading this? Am I reading this right? As Obi-Wan... That's a creative title, Dave Mattingly, but unfortunately, I don't think Mr. Filoni, who watches this show every week, is going to call his movie that. That's not happening. Dave Mattingly goes on to say, the sequel to Solo will be called Duo. You heard it here first, folks.
Nice. Nice.
Solo 2 is not going to happen. It's never going to happen. It bombed. It failed miserably.
Such a big cliffhanger.
But it bombed. It didn't make any money.
I don't care. I want it.
I want another one. So.
By the way, hashtag not my Star Wars. But anyway, Snips, I know your people, your other Jedi Master and apprentices are calling you, so I'm going to let you do this. Christie, it's been great having you here. You've been a
thank you, guys.
Guest. It's always great to hear your voice. It's always great to have you here, and we look forward to having you back for the finale that's going to be next week. And please don't tell me you have to leave early, because it's the finale.
Finale time.
You got to discuss it with us for more than just 50 minutes. You can't just leave, early, like you've been doing the last several weeks. But anyway, sorry, that's a behind-the-scenes story. Christie, where can the good people of the interwebs follow you on social media and keep up to date with everything that you have coming up? Because I hear a little birdie told me you're going to be at a show coming up here pretty soon. So tell us about it.
Thank you for having me. I had so much fun. Sorry about the Wi-Fi issues. But find me online at Snipsico, like it says right around here. And I'll have a show where I sell canvases like this in New Jersey, October 28th. So if you're from New Jersey, come on out, and you can find more information on my Instagram. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Admiral Reads and at Book Ascendancy.
Wow. Force is strong with this one. Christie, it was great having you. We wish you the best.
Bye, guys.
Please be safe out there, and may the Force be with
you. Thank you. May the Force be with you guys. See you later.
Take it easy there, Snips. Great having her here. She is such a ray of sunshine. She's amazing. She's got a lot of good things going for her. The only thing she needs to do now to make her life fully complete is to watch Galaxy Quest.
Absolutely.
Then, Jen,
everyone needs to watch Galaxy Quest. That is a life requirement.
I would agree. I would venture to say that's a very good statement, and it's a true statement. And I agree with you 100%. So, listen, the Star Wars galaxy is huge. It's massive. There are characters, there are environments, there are stories just itching, scratching, and clawing to be told, and we cannot wait to see what's going to go down on the finale, the season finale, depending on what's going to happen, with Ahsoka on next week's episode of Ahsoka's Weekly Mission. So thank you for joining us, each and every single one of you. We appreciate all of you for joining us. Whether this is your first time here or you've been with us since the beginning, we can't thank you enough. This has been a lot of fun. Jen, it's been amazing sitting down with you and Christie and talking about all things Star Wars and finding out more about what's going to be happening with Ahsoka and some other characters moving forward within the galaxy far, far away. Jen, where can the good people of the interwebs follow you on social media?
Again, thank you for having me on. This has been a blast, and I love talking about all things Star Wars. Everyone can find me at Jen Herminia Godowski. That is one of my Instagrams. You can also follow me at Rocking Your Bald Podcast. I have a podcast entitled Rocking Your Bald. The new episode just dropped actually today. It's a roundtable conversation for my fellow alopecians, and we discuss community. So if you can, check that out. It's available.
Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Appreciate you being here, Jen. I'm going to be talking to you here in just a moment. My name is Ryan of Nerd Culture. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, if you dare, at RyanRPM5. Also, we're getting close to reaching 1,000 subscribers. Once we do, we're going to throw a great big live stream celebration that's going to include returning guests such as Jen, Christie. If you want to come back, you're more than welcome to come back. We'd love to have you. I think that'd be a lot of fun if you feel so inclined. We're also going to have some surprise guests, and we're going to have some very, and I do mean very special giveaways that may or may not contain certain fandoms that you may be familiar with, whether it's Marvel, whether it's DC, maybe it's Star Wars. You know, there's going to be some stuff thrown in there for good measure. And the finale of Ahsoka's Weekly Mission is going to be on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you check that out. Also, the man who composed the soundtrack to your childhood television shows in the 90s, Ron Wasserman, is going to be joining us on Saturday, October the 14th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time on this very channel and Facebook and our other social media networks that you are currently tuning in on for this show. Ron Wasserman is going to be here, and that's going to be more phenomenal and excellent. So make sure you join us for that. A lot of great things coming your way. We have been so thankful, and we are so grateful to each and every single one of you who've been tuning into our content, who've been liking it, been sharing it, all that stuff. We really, really appreciate all the support we've been getting recently and in the past, present, future, all that stuff. So remember, like, comment, share, subscribe, ring that bell to be notified of when our videos go up or they go live. And also, remember, the Force will be with you always. Take a look.
There's so many. Has anyone been to them all?
Not likely.
I want to be the first one to see them all.
Truly wonderful the mind of a child is.
Come on. When you find people who need your help, you help them. No matter what.
We have hope. Hope that things can get better. And they will.
Stand up together. Because that's when we're strongest. As one.
You won't be going alone. You'll have a friend with you.
No. I'll have a Jedi with me.
You might want to buckle up, baby.
Rise
in the Force.
Take care of us, little one.
It'll take care of you. We had each other. That's how we won.
Force is strong in my family.
Its energy surrounds us and binds us.
What is it they've sent us?
Hope.